Tonight we start another build. And yes, it's a matchbox. Let me explain.
Now there's a Volkswagen people can't wait to show off. You'll buy it for what it looks like and get used to what it can do later. The Volkswagen Fastback sedan.
Now what's going on is Graf, and I'll put the link to his channel below, hit up several of the YouTube custom builders like myself, Hewitt's Hot Wheels, Diecast, Fantasyland, and so on, and wanted us to do a custom in our own touches, our own taste and everything. Because, you know, it's just one of the things, you know, you got some people that collect autographs, like Tampa. He likes to collect the cars on the cards with signatures. Other people like Alex, he really likes the customs. So that's what he did. He hit several of us up and asked if we would mind doing it. Of course, all of us said, yeah, sure. And the catch was, he sent other things to basically pay for this custom, if you will. Not really pay for, but trade for. Like if you go back, and I'll put that video below too, he sent a lot of cars for me to keep for myself to do this one car for him. And then on top of that, the Joker turned around and sent everybody a custom Love Bug type car. In other words, he painted it white, put the Herbie Love Bug decals on the cars, because Herbie was a Volkswagen also. But one of the first things we got to do is get this out. I've never taken a Matchbox out, but it's made by Hot Wheels. Got the same cardboard backing and everything, so it should go about the same. So let's see. As you can see, it's starting to soak in. Oh yeah, it's pulling apart. Might have to add a little bit more. Let me add a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's starting to work now. Hope I can get it apart far enough. Come on, baby. Okay, turn loose. Peeled a little bit of it right there. That'll be alright. You'll never tell it. Here. I wanted to get it apart far enough so I could get that whole thing out, because I want to put it back in here. So let's set that up there. And here's what we have. Beep, 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 beep. Very, very cool car. I like it. Got the opening doors, which I will have to pay attention to when I take it apart, because they only go back in one way. And, you know, got to pay attention to how it comes apart, what holds it in, and all that stuff. Cool license plate and tail lights, which all that's going to go bye-bye, because when you strip it, it doesn't care what color it is, it's coming off. Headlights are painted, which we'll redo that. And I have a few ideas for this. I don't know how far I'm going to go with it or anything like that, but gosh, it's going to be a little short axle tubes. I can see that already. But we'll take care of all that. First thing we got to do is get this Joker apart. Alright, got her cracked open. And luckily this has pretty good tabs. So I can drill and tap and don't really have to worry about it. Now if you look at this, there's no steering wheel. The steering wheel is actually part of the design of the dash, which is kind of weird. So I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I was thinking about putting another 3D steering wheel in there. And I may do that yet. I may try to sand this flat and put the steering wheel in there. Or I might do like James and just turn that into like instrument cluster and just drill a hole through there, or super glue it on, something along those lines. We'll figure it out as we go. Now I gotta get these doors off, and they look fairly simple, but looks can be deceiving. Get that spring, that piece of spring metal in there. Yep, that's all it is, just pop it up. Okay, and the door falls right off. I wish it would have done that, because I wanted to see how it come out. Okay, I see, it's very simple. Very simple, just goes in like so. Okay, so we'll take them out. They'll have to go in the stripper, and luckily they're metal. I did a Lambo one time. I said this was the first time I did a Matchbox, and I lied. I did a Lambo one time for the Customizer Diecast, and it was all plastic, so I couldn't strip the doors. I had to prime and paint them. So I'm gonna get this glass out now without breaking it. I tell you, the hardest part for me so far is getting the stupid glass out because of the way it's in there. I mean, it's pressured in there and it's got that big post that sits on, but I got it out. So we've got all that stuff. Now I got to flatten the post and drill them out, and this bad boy will be ready for stripper. And to flatten them out, all you do is take a file, and it's just when you drill it the first time to knock the head off, the head doesn't always come off perfectly flat. Sometimes you have to flatten it out a little bit, and then I always go around it. The reason I do it is so that it fits back in the base really good, because we're going to be using screws. Alright, let's get the screws in real quick. Move this out of the way for just a second. If you're wondering why I use screws, sometimes for some reasons you might just have to take the car back apart, number one. And number two is it ensures that during the shipping process the car doesn't come apart. But we've got everything ready. That's a pretty light blue grayish metal flake paint job on that. I hate to see it go. It's actually very nice. But she's got to go bye-bye, so in she goes. Look at that bad boy. It doesn't take long for a Volkswagen to sink up in the North Carolina clay. Look at that. She's just about gone already. But next time you see this, it will be coming out of the stripper, going into the sink for a water bath, and then we'll get busy on this, sanding or filing, whatever we need to do. So until next time, see you later, Volkswagen. I'll let this play out. Alright, got it at a stripper, and I actually have the doors in there now, because what I did was I put a paper towel down on the bottom of the pan, took the car out, put it on there, and when I took it up, of course, there was leftover residue. So I just took the doors and dropped them down in there and took the brush and brushed it over the top. So that's what they're doing in there now, stripping. But right now what I want to do is I just want to look the car over and see if there's really anything I need to take care of. And I really don't see anything. This casting is in very good shape. Now, once we brush it off and get all this stuff off of it, we'll probably see some stuff we need to take care of. Like right there's a casting line that runs up the side. You know, and then there's the one back here that I know is there. And I'll see how bad it looks after we sand it and file it and all that stuff. So let's get to it. All we're going to do is take the brass bristle brush like always, and you can do the whole car if you want with this. Get this over here. You can do the whole car with this if you so choose. No right or wrong. But all you're doing is you're just taking the bristles and trying to get all the citrus strip out of all the nooks and crannies. All the leftover casting and primer and just anything that you can take off of it. See how much nicer that looks already compared to the front? And that's all you're doing. So I'm going to do the whole car. I went over the whole car. I got it out of all, oh my hand's cramping. I took it out, I went over all the cracks really good to make sure there's nothing in there, all the little vents, stuff like that. What you do is you just take it and put it on there and push and work it back and forth, and it'll work its way down in, the bristles will work its way down in there. But I did the whole car, and the whole car is pretty nice looking. I mean, there's not any heavy pitting or anything like that. So with that stated, there's not much I'm going to do to it. I am going to take off that casting line there on both sides. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to use a file and take that off. The front one, I don't know if there's going to be much that I can do about it because there's so much detail. Because you got the bumper blended in there, the headlights are blended in there. So I may just leave that. But I'm definitely going to do the back. So let's get the files. And when you do this, now you just look for one that's going to do the least amount of damage, because you don't want to use a round one or a pyramid really on a flat surface. So there's a really small round one. That ain't going to do us any good because that'll make divots and grooves and stuff. So this is probably the smallest flat one that we have. And I'll just be using the tip basically. And we'll come back and clean this up with sandpaper in a minute, and I'll explain that why. But all we're going to do is just lightly sand and try to stay away from that body line right there. Try to stay away from that all we can. Alright, as you can see, I've got the back one gone, both sides. And what I did do is I did hit the front one too, but only between the bumper and the headlight, because I can let the rest of it be part of the body work. Man. Let that be part of the front valance and that be part of the headlight bezel right in there, so that's no big deal. I just took out that little bit there on both sides. Well, like I said, it's not in very bad shape at all. It's actually in very good shape. I'm actually tickled at the shape that it's in, because when they cast this bad boy, you can see that part of the casting line up front. And I mean, I could take that out right there on top of that fenders, and I might do that yet with the sandpaper, because the sandpaper I use will do that. But if you look at it, it's kind of like part of the body line, so you don't want to mess with it too much. But we got to rough this up, because this is going to be getting a paint job, and the paint needs something to stick to, so I've got to create a rough surface on the body for the primer to stick to, and then the paint will stick to the rough texture of the primer. So let's get to it. All I'm going to do is just sand. I'm going to hit right here on these body lines right here, very gently with the 80 grit. Just very gently. Just to take some of that line away. You can see it's already almost gone. Do the other side the same way. And that's really all I need to do that. Most of it is completely gone. So now I'm going to switch over. And for priming and painting, I normally go to 320. And that's what this is. I wrote it on here so I would know, because, you know, the whole sheet of paper doesn't have it on it. But I'm just going to hit the whole body and scuff it up. And then right before painting, we'll clean this and degrease it with rubbing alcohol and super cleaner, something along that line, Zep, whatever you prefer to use. But just to show you the difference, this is how it looks now. And it'll look like it's polishing it, but it's really not polishing it. It's just giving, like I said, the primer something to stick to. But you can see how scratched up looking that looks. That gives the primer to stick to. And I'm just going to do the whole body like this. And then when it comes time to prime it and paint it, we'll degrease it and clean it with rubbing alcohol. Now I put out there when I revealed that he had sent this casting that I really didn't have any ideas for it. And when he told me that he was sending me a car to do, I kind of had the feeling what it was going to be, because he had been finding several and putting in his videos and stuff like that. On this line. And if you know anything about me and my channel, I really like car shows. And the cool thing about car shows is there's always different cars there of different levels of build quality, and, you know, different tastes, different prices, you know, just all kinds of different, to put it lightly. And with that being said, that's the route that I'm going to be taking this car. I thought about making a show slash drag car, something along that line, but I don't know. I just, right this second, I don't think that's the direction that I'm going to go. I'm pretty sure that it's just going to be the car show type. Like, you know, you could enter this car in big car shows, that type. It's going to have a shiny paint job. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to tell you what color yet, because I don't know. I'm thinking about a color that I haven't tried yet, but I just don't know if I'm going to order it or try to mix it or make it myself. I don't know. That's the thing about doing these cars when you start. Some people take a piece of paper and write out exactly what they want to do, and that's all fine. You know, it gives you a direction. Some people let the car talk to you. Like this car has very nice body lines. I mean, it does. It's just a really, really nice car. You could take it and put some big old fatties in the back, little skinnies up front with a wheelie bar coming off the back of it, and paint it flat black, and call it done. I mean, it's just that type of car. No matter what you do to it, it's going to look good. Yeah, or be right, or, you know, it fitting to the car, however you want to look at it. But I'll tell you right now, if everything goes the way that I'm planning on it going, it's going to be a two-tone paint job. And I'm just going to follow the body lines. I'm going to let the body lines tell me where to go with it. And I'll just leave it at that. That's what we're going to finish with tonight. I still got to go down the sides, but that's what it's going to look like. Oh, we got our primer all mixed up. I've got it mixed kind of thin because I've been putting it on a little too heavy, so I wanted to do a little lighter today, or a little thinner. As you can see, we're going black because the colors that I'm going to be putting on top of this are dark. If I was going lighter colors, I'd use either a gray or a white. Alright, nice beautiful day, and I've got the silver paint mixed up, which is what we're going to need for the last color to show through. We have to put this down in order for everything else to work, so we got to do the base and the body. And I've got it thinned down to where it's pretty thin, because I don't run mine as high as they say to. They say 30 to 35 pounds. I run mine on about 25. So I thin mine down just a little bit more. But with that stated, here's the color, metallic silver. So let's get this bad boy going. Alright, we've got everything ready. I've got the paint in the gun. And for the color that I want, this has to be silver on the body and the base. So that's why we have everything painted black. We want kind of a black chrome look, and you'll understand when I show you the finished product. So we're just going to put light coats on until we get the exact color we want. We're just building it up. That's all we're doing. We're just building it up. A little bit of paint on the base, and then we'll hit the body same way. Now, since this is an opening door one, we have to get inside the door jambs as well. So open the doors, and then we'll hit it with the color. But we just keep doing that until we get the color we want. We build it up, and then when we get the color we want, we stop. But you can see that's already starting to look great. You can see that chrome starting to cover up. And it's not going to be chrome per se, but it's going to have a black chrome, black silver look to it when we're all said and done. Now you can see that the base is nice and blackish silver. We're going to put one more coat on this and the base will be done. But here you want to be sure to get all the different angles for the wheel well openings and everything, for the axles go through. Rotate everything around as you spray it. And that's going to be it for the base. It's a blackish gray look is what we're after. I actually wish I had some black chrome, but I don't. So you have to work with what you got. Kind of have to make your own. But this is where the color starts coming through. You can tell that it's got a little bit of color on it, but we're fixing to really change that color. So this is when you start seeing it. Because that was just a light mist tack coat. As you can see right now, it's kind of a grayish black, and that's the look that we're after. We're going to put one more coat on this. I want it a little bit more gray than that, but she's looking pretty dang good, I would say. And you actually use the airbrush to kind of dry it. But we got to be sure to hit inside those door jambs. So let's do it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the color we're going after. Now there will be getting one more color. We'll have to tape it off to put it on there. But you get the gist of how this bad boy is going to look. Fixing to paint Mr. Alex Graf's car, and you can see I've got it taped off so you can see what we're going for. I don't have any real narrow paint tape, so it's not going to be a perfect tape job, but it will be good enough for what we're trying to do. We got to make sure everything is pushed down. And the color choice is this blood red, and I just got done using it on another car, so we're going to put it back in. But I want it to be a little bit darker than the ordinary blood red. So we're going to add a drop or two of transparent black and mix it up. All we need is just a drop or two, and that will totally change the color. There's one. There's two. That's all I'm going to put. And we just mix that in really good. And it just makes the the red just a touch darker. But I really, really like this color. See how darker it looks now? Kind of like a cherry. But you got to make sure you mix it up good, because you're mixing a transparent paint with a candy paint, and although they are both transparent, you still want it mixed up really good. You don't want anything left to chance. And as you can see, as always, I mix too much, but that's okay. Alright. Make sure we got all the regular red out of the gun. Now we'll mix in the darker red. And no, I don't need all of that, but we're going to leave it in the gun. Make sure our tape is pushed down one more time. And people ask when I take my tape off, and I take my tape off as soon as I get done either painting the car or cleaning the airbrush. In this case, with all this tape, I'm going to take it off as soon as I get done spraying it. We're not going to worry about the insides. Alright, I'm glad I got to talk to you, because the inside of the doors and all that's going to be the same color as the outside of the car. So I didn't want that to get painted this blood red mix. So thanks to me talking to you, you helped me realize I need to tape that off real quick. But anyhow, here we go. Make sure the gun's spraying right. Light coats as always. And then we're just going to let it dry for a minute, because what'll happen is that'll help seal the tape so it doesn't bleed through, and then we'll hit it again. I hope this turns out the way I want, because this, like I said, this is a custom mix. I took the blood red and mixed in 2 drops of transparent black, so we'll see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can always strip it, right? Now that we've given it a minute to dry, we can put on a little wetter coat. See how we're going to like it. And look at that color. I think that is gorgeous, the way it's coming out. I mean, that is just gorgeous. And I know what the bottom half looks like, so this is going to look killer. We need the airbrush to dry a little bit. I can actually see that black in the red just a hair, but man, that looks really, really good. You know, you have these ideas in your head and you don't know what they're going to look like until you do it. Oh, man. Holy cow. And then when I clear coat it, I think I'm gonna let that dry for just a minute and put one more coat on it, and then we'll be finished. Yes, I think we're gonna stop with that right there. That's pretty dark. So let's take tape off of it and see what it looks like. I'm gonna have just a little bit of touch up. It pulled the paint off right there down to the primer, dang it. But what do you expect? There you go. Look how good that bad boy looks. Oh my goodness. I have a little bit of touch up I could do. I got a little bit I'm definitely going to have to do right here on the side where it pulled the paint off of the primer, but that's okay. Overall, look at how good that bad boy looks. Now all I got to do is touch those two little spots up. I may have to just mix up some paint and spray the whole side again. I don't know. We'll have to see. If I do, that's nothing. You know, just put a piece of tape down there and just hit the whole side. No biggie. But just look at how good that looks. Alright, let's get this bad boy put together. I've made a few changes since the last time you saw it. Let's get the glass out of here so we'll have all the parts out for final assembly. What I did was I took the base and of course I painted it, as you saw in the video. And I went ahead and put my OMD signature on there right between the rear wheels. You really can't see it, so it's small, but it's there. Clear coated over it. And I also changed out the wheels. I put some gold looking wheels on it to go with the paint job. From another identical casting, believe it or not, but it wasn't Matchbox, it was a Hot Wheels version. The interior, I didn't do much to it, I just painted it gray. I started to go dark gray, but I thought this color would look better with it. But I did add a 3D printed steering wheel, and I added a gear shifter because what Volkswagen doesn't have a gear shifter in it, because you know they weren't automatics way back when. So yeah, that's what I did, and this is what it looks like. Now just a recap for those that don't know what's going on. Mr. Alex Graf reached out to several YouTube customizers to do a custom for him. And you know, for somebody to think of your work as being good enough to want, that's a big compliment. So you know, when he asked, I was like, sure, absolutely, you know. And when he sent the car, I was like, I played it off, you know, I really don't know what I want to do. All along knowing that what I want to do, because like I said, you know, you have people who are into different things. Some people are into gassers, some people are into drag cars, some people are into rat rods, and some people, including myself, are into show cars. So that's the way we went with this. So let's get this glass popped back in. It was a bear to take out for some reason for me, but it, you know, going right back in, simple as pie. And we're gonna get this bad boy reassembled and get it on its way to Alex. But there's that. Drop the interior back in, and it's pretty simple, you know, just line up the post with the hole. Now we're gonna put the base on, but before I do that, I gotta take the screws out. So let's get the screws out, and then we'll get this final assembly. Now I'd like to thank Alex for trusting in my capabilities to want to reach out to me to do a custom for him. I mean, that means a lot. And I'll show you the final product here in just a second, but I just wanted to go over that. I'd like to thank him for allowing me to do this for him. I hope he really likes it. It was a fun build. You know, we learned a few things, screwed up a few things, and learned a few things more. But that is the life of a customizer. You know, you do something, you have an idea in your head, and you think that you've got things worked out, and then the car tells you, nope, I want something different. And this was no different. And it was just, I don't know, one of those things. Like I said, we painted it, and the tape pulled some of the paint off, so we had to fix that. And you know, the car dictated and said, you know, no, I don't want to be a drag car. No, I don't want to be a rat rod. No, I don't want to be this. No, I don't want to be that. This is what I want. So this is what we did. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you might have learned a thing or two along the way. And yeah, let's show you what we started with. Now again, as a recap, this is what we started with. It's a Matchbox moving parts 1965 fastback, or fastback coupe, however you want to look at it. And it's a gorgeous little casting. I mean, it's very nice, it's very well done and everything, but as always, we can do better. And that's exactly what we did. You know, we changed out the wheels, we painted the base, we painted the body, we did the interior, and I think it all turned out really, really good. So you guys drop a comment below, let me know what you think. Did we do right? Did we do wrong? Should we have done something different? What would you have done? How would you have done it? And most part, I think it turned out great. Till next time, Thank you for watching.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, speaking fast, I can roast, I can gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness of